Thanksgiving. Oh, I made this too. Our system was down and down for 4 hours, And so it be cold in that office. And I sat right there and made this. And it is so warm. But anyway, this is my favorite time of year, I left the job just on a cloud, happy. And usually when I get in the car, I should say when I turn my phone back on, I'm trying to check my messages and my inbox and all that old shit that I didn't used to do. And I see it's a lot in there right now. And I didn't even click on it, because I'm like, you know what, Lynn, at the end of the day, you gonna run your shit like you want to run it, right? People just on some bullshit, and I'm not for that. I'm too old for that bullshit, actually. But I was sitting there and I was thinking about just life, and I do that a lot, think about life a lot. And I was thinking about how that I was with the pastor for 25 years and we got a divorce. But I remember Charlie telling me, he said, Lynn, you may not still be my wife. He said, but I'm just glad that you're in my life, period. And my response to him was, so am I. Or me too. I mean, I'm glad that we're friends is what I was basically saying or agreeing to. And the entire time that we were divorced, Charlie would always, he never ever stopped saying he loved me. But I never would reciprocate that, because I don't like to play with people's feelings, or anything like that. And so it is what it is. That doesn't mean I was mean. I wasn't mean or anything like that. But I'm just saying, he would always, Lynn, I just love you so much. I just, and you're going to always, I don't want nobody. And he just, I don't want nobody else. It's you type of thing. And, he had a couple of little flings or whatever. We talked about it, But I was just thinking how that even though we were not, the chapter had closed for us being husband and wife, we remained in each other's life. And I was just sitting there thinking how that, my ex-husband took ill, and I just went shopping for him, and I bought him some things, and his knees was hurting. I bought him some shit for his knees, bought him a whole just clothes. I just took it over there, And what you do this for? Here, Charlie, I want you to feel better type of thing. When he was in the rehabilitation center where he had to stay overnight, I, went there with my daughter and my Brianni, and went in there. So the room wasn't, I didn't like the smell of the room or whatever. And there again, Brianni said, well, we can go and get some. So we went, we got some stuff and, cleaned up the room, put some smell good in there. And then I remember one time with Charlie and I, we would still meet, go to the casino, out to eat. We were friends. And I remember one time when I was taking Charlie home, because it had gotten to the point where I had to do the driving. And so I took him home, and then I'm in the driver's seat like this. And then all of a sudden, I just kind of done like this and tried to act like I'm looking for something, acting like I was looking for something. But Charlie, if you with someone 25 years, you know them, right? And so he said, Lynn, he just said it, Lynn, stop crying, And then what did he say that for? Y'all knew it was out. He knew I was crying. And so I turned around at that time and I just don't like to see you like that, Charlie. Why you take care of yourself, Charlie? Lynn, I am. But I bawled, man. I just did not like to, because I don't hate nobody. And I just did not like to see Charlie in that fashion. And amazing that, he knew that I was crying. And then so I just expressed how I felt, that I wanted him to get better. I didn't like seeing him like that, because Charlie always was a strong man, had a strong back, had his own landscaping company, not lazy at all, and no, I'm not just saying this because he's gone. I told Charlie those things when he was alive. In my book, I didn't crush Charlie. Read the book. Anyway, and then I go up to the hospital just spontaneously. I've got to go see him. And then I go up there and he's not in this room. Turns out that certain person had him moved just out of spite, and it was bad. It was bad. And I'm looking for Charlie. They gonna tell me he's not there. That's all they would tell me. Turns out he was there. They just had him moved. No one knew I was coming up there, so it wasn't done to get back at me. It was done to get back at somebody else. But nonetheless, anyway, so I didn't get to see him that night, but my daughter FaceTimed me, and I know y'all have heard this on other video, but she went to the hospital to see her dad, and she FaceTimed me, and I saw Charlie, and I could tell he couldn't see, and he could hear me. He said, "Hey, Lynn, hey, baby." He called me baby all the time. And then that time, I said, "Charlie, I love you." And he said, "I love you too, baby." Then he died the next day. I said that to say this, is that the way that I have lived my life, I don't have no regrets. I am a wonderful woman, actually. And Charlie and I had been divorced for at least 9 years. I done got remarried. Shit. But guess what? I still paid. I paid every penny for his funeral. And the lady at the funeral home said somebody else in my family had passed. And my nephew, the one that had passed suddenly at 32. And so the head of the funeral home asked the other lady that was working with my family, my sister, about me, because she put it in the word for me. I know they're good for it. I trust whatever. And he said, "So you would trust this lady," talking about Lynn Littlejohn, "with your children?" And then she said, "I would trust her with my children." And he said, "Why?" And then her response was, "Because she paid for her ex-husband's funeral." When she told me she said that, I'm like, is this something I wasn't supposed to do? That wasn't a thought. Nobody else was going to put this man that I've been with for 25 years, nobody else was going to put him away, right? I take that back. My son, he would have done it. He would have gotten it to his 401. So I take that back. Scratch that, all right? But sure, that's just the type of woman that I am. And so the lady said that. I just kind of smiled and I said, "Thank you." But it wasn't an option. It wasn't a thought. I was going to do right by him. And so as I make my way out of this earthly realm and I look back over my life, I don't have no regrets. I don't have no regrets how I lived my life. None. I can't even say I regret going up to Philadelphia. I just regret what happened. I regret, I don't want to use the word regret. Everything in my life is for a reason and for a purpose, is make me who I am today. Can't nobody pull no bullshit on me no more. I don't have a whole lot to brag on because I'll be 58, but goddamn, nobody can pull. It's not that serious. Nothing is that serious. Nothing. I don't have no regrets with Terrence because I loved him. That's what I'm guilty of, is loving him. I told my sister the other day, We brought up Terrence. So I know Terrence is something. He's up there in Trinidad or Africa or Jamaica, somewhere. He's up there somewhere. Got those little Indonesia girls, those little Chinese girls, those little, they got their real hair and and all that old shit. He up there living his life and having fun. But something we brought up the other day, and I brought up Terrence to my sisters. I guess it must have been we was on the trip Monday. I said, Terrence was the only one that I was in love with, in love with, and I know that I was, So even with Terrence, I don't have no nigga, and I'm not mad at him. None of that. I loved him. I did. I really loved him. Terrence, I don't know. But he did. He put his hands on me one time. And Terrence told me, Lynn, I promise I'll never do that for the rest of my life ever again. I don't give a fuck how mad he got. He kept his promise. So he and I were together 9 years. Six years now, maybe I've been single. And I'm not changing that status ever. I got it. Somebody said, well, you think you want to be alone as you leave. Yes, I do. It's too much shit. People, I might get offended because somebody's insensitive towards something that I'm doing. Well, that means I'm slid back into giving a fuck. I can't be giving a fuck. I can't make nobody care about what I'm doing. I can't make nobody be into what I'm doing. I can't make nobody respond to me the way that I want that. I can't do that. So don't nobody owe me a motherfucker. You don't owe me shit. Nobody owes me shit. And I do realize that. So say, no, I'm not, me being alone, that number one, that's not going to happen because I got grandkids. Let that marinate. Here's that shit. It's me. I'm the one and only. I'm Pastor's ex-wife.